Picture this scenario. You're lying awake at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, and your mind is racing through every possible financial disaster that could strike tomorrow. Your car could break down, your laptop might die, a medical bill could arrive in the mail. You scroll through social media and see friends on vacation or buying new cars, and you wonder, how are they doing it? Does everyone else have their finances figured out except me? What if I told you the answer is no? Most people are just as stressed as you are, but they're hiding it. Today, we're going to look into a financial mirror. We're going to compare your situation to the cold, hard numbers of the average American. I'm not going to tell you to feel good or bad about where you stand. I'm going to give you the clarity you actually need to make smarter decisions, because understanding what average truly looks like is the first step to deciding you want something better. Let's start with the number everyone focuses on: income. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median individual income for a full-time worker is about $52,000 a year. That's the middle of the pack. If you're making around $26 an hour, you are statistically average. But here's the psychological trap, the part that keeps you up at night. That number is an illusion. It's what you earn before the government takes its cut. After federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare, that $52,000 shrinks to a take-home pay of roughly $35,000 to $40,000. Suddenly, that doesn't feel like nearly as much money, does it? You feel the gap every time you look at your bank account. Your brain knows you earn a decent salary, but your wallet tells a different story. This is the income illusion. We benchmark ourselves against a gross number that we never actually get to hold. It creates a constant low-grade anxiety where you feel like you should be further ahead because you earn good money. But the reality of your spending power tells a different tale. The paycheck that hits your account feels significantly smaller than the number you tell people you make. But here's the thing that might surprise you. Focusing solely on income is like trying to get fit by only looking at how many calories you eat, while ignoring how many you burn. Income is just one side of the equation. The real story, the story that determines whether you sleep soundly or lie awake at 3 a.m., isn't just about what you earn. It's about what happens to that money after it lands in your account. It's about the gap between what you earn and what you get to keep, and more importantly, what you get to keep for your future self. This brings us to the most shocking number of all, the one that should be a wake-up call for anyone under the age of 50. According to the Federal Reserve, the median retirement savings for Americans aged 65 and older is about $88,000. Let that number sink in. After a lifetime of work, the typical retiree has less than 6 figures to live on for the rest of their life. Now, let's put that into a monthly reality. Using the standard 4% withdrawal rule, which is designed to make your savings last, $88,000 gives you about $3,500 per year to withdraw. That's less than $300 a month. Could you live on $300 a month in retirement? Even if your house is paid off, that wouldn't cover groceries, utilities, healthcare, and everything else. It's a terrifyingly small amount. And that's just for the people who have saved something. About 25% of Americans have zero retirement savings. Nothing. They are planning to rely entirely on Social Security. And what does that safety net look like? The average Social Security benefit is about $1,550 a month. So if you're an average retiree with savings, you're looking at a combined income of around $1,850 a month. If you're part of that 25% with nothing saved, you're trying to survive on that $1,550. This is the mathematical reality of average. But here's where it gets really interesting. Look at the progression. For people aged 25 to 34, the median retirement savings is around $14,000. For 35 to 44, it's about $91,000. The numbers climb, but slowly. The problem is, most people aren't saving enough to ever reach a number that provides real security. They're saving just enough to feel like they're doing something, but not enough to change the outcome. The psychological stakes here are enormous. We all have a picture of what retirement should be: travel, hobbies, time with family. But the average numbers paint a very different picture, a life of severe constraint, of worrying about money every single day, all over again. It's the 3 a.m. panic, but permanently. This isn't about judging anyone. It's about understanding the destination of the path most people are on. Because once you see that destination clearly, you can ask yourself the most important question. Do I want to get off this path? So if people aren't saving enough for retirement, where is all that money going? It's disappearing into what I call the spending trap, the fixed costs that anchor you in place. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American household spends about $5,577 every single month. That's over $67,000 a year flowing out the door just to maintain a basic standard of living. When you compare that to the take-home pay we discussed, you see the problem immediately. The average household is spending nearly every dollar it brings in. This spending breaks down in a way that reveals why so many people feel trapped. The single biggest anchor is housing, costing the average household $1,885 per month. That's more than $22,000 a year just to keep a roof over your head. Right behind it is transportation at $913 a month. Car payments, insurance, gas, maintenance, that's another $11,000 a year. Add those two together and you're at $2,700 a month before you've even bought groceries or paid a single utility bill. This is why financial experts stress that your housing and transportation costs shouldn't exceed 50% of your income. For the average person, they already do. Then comes food at nearly $700 a month. These are not extravagant expenses. They represent the basic cost of living in today's economy. The mental strain created by this is significant. It often feels like running on a treadmill, working constantly just to cover fixed, unavoidable costs. There is very little margin for mistakes. A single unexpected expense, such as a car repair or a medical bill, can disrupt the entire balance because that margin is so thin. This creates a repeating spending cycle. It is not about small indulgences or luxury items. It is about the heavy weight of foundational expenses that absorb most of a paycheck before any real progress is possible. Many people expect to have more flexibility, but the numbers rarely support that expectation. And when that unexpected expense does hit, or when the desire for a little relief from the grind becomes too strong, this is where the next anchor drops: debt. The average American household is carrying over $9,000 in credit card debt. This isn't a mortgage where you're building equity in an asset. This is $9,000 spent on things that are likely already consumed, forgotten, or sitting in a closet. It's dead weight. What makes this anchor so heavy is the interest. At a typical 20% APR, that $9,000 balance costs you about $1,800 a year in interest payments alone. That's $150 a month you're handing over to a credit card company for the privilege of having spent money you didn't have. It's money that could be accelerating your savings, but instead it's actively working against you, making the hill you have to climb even steeper. This is the silent killer of financial progress. Now, contrast that with your credit score. The average FICO score is a surprisingly decent 715. This creates a dangerous illusion of stability. People think, my credit is good, I'm fine. But a good score can mask a terrible behavior, carrying high interest debt. You can pay your bills on time and still be financially suffocating yourself with interest payments. The system rewards you for being a reliable debtor, not for being financially free. This debt reality directly impacts your net worth, which is the truest measure of your financial health, what you own minus what you owe. The median net worth for all households is about $122,000, but that number is massively skewed by age. If you're under 35, the median net worth is less than $14,000. For the 35 to 44 age group, it's $91,000. These numbers are sobering because they show how slowly wealth accumulates for the average person, especially when you're starting with student loans and then adding credit card debt to the mix. The transition from being a net debtor to a net owner is the most important psychological shift in personal finance. It's the moment you stop working for your money and your money starts working for you. But for the average person, that $9,000 anchor is holding them back, keeping them on the wrong side of that equation. Every dollar spent on interest is a dollar that isn't compounding in your favor.
So where does all this leave us? With the average savings rate, Americans save about 6% of their after-tax income. That's the leaky bucket trying to fill a massive pool. The math is brutal. Saving 6% while facing a $62,000 down payment or a $47,000 car means there's little left for retirement. Most experts recommend saving 10 to 15% just for retirement. The average person isn't even close. This is why the typical retirement age is 61, but full Social Security doesn't kick in until 67. You're left with a 6-year gap to bridge with that meager $88,000. The 25-year retirement you have to fund becomes a terrifying math problem.
Conclusion: choosing your financial future. But here's the powerful twist. Average is a low bar. The gap between stressed and secure is often smaller than it seems. Spending just $1,000 less per month frees up $12,000 a year to save. That's the choice. You can follow the crowd to the $88,000 retirement, or you can build something better. The math is clear. The choice is yours. If this video helped you understand money just a little bit better, do me a favor and hit the like button. It really supports the channel. And if you want clear, simple explanations about finance, investing, and building a better financial future, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. New videos are coming regularly to help you make smarter financial decisions without the confusion or hype. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.